Hey everybody, welcome back to The Agenda with the Missoula County Commissioners. I'm Josh Slottick and I'm here with my fellow commissioner and friend, Juanita Vero. Dave Strohmeyer is out this week. Actually, he's in Helena fighting the good fight on our behalf. Today we're joined by Captain Ryan Prather of the Missoula County Sheriff's Office. Captain Prather is the captain of the Detective Division, and he also coordinates search and rescue and the cold case unit. And today we're going to be talking about all those things with Captain Prather. Yes, that means we are diving into true crime here today at Missoula County.
Wait, first, okay, what makes a case cold? What's the definition?
That's a great question.
What makes a case cold is we don't have any more leads whatsoever to the case, and it's just kind of like at a stalemate. We've done everything that we can do, and we just don't have anything more to go on. We can turn a case into a cold case, within a few years. We are going to do everything we can and put as many resources, the new technology that's out there that we have today compared to several years ago that we did not have. We're going to use everything we can. We kind of call it the tools in our toolbox to work a case to its end. And if we don't have any success, we're going to label it a cold case. And then we have a group of folks that are highly trained with a lot of experience. They pretty much take the case on from there for us.
So cold case it's an actual formal category. Like you put a case specifically, it's in the cold case pile or file.
When we say cold case, we're specifically referring to unsolved homicides within Missoula County.
Okay, that's helpful.
Yep. That's the key. That's the key word.
Okay.
There are some missing persons cases and whatnot that the cold case folks work, but yeah, when we say cold case, we are really referring to homicides.
So what is a day in the life of a person on a cold case look like? What do you do?
So our cold case division, for those of you that do not know, it was formed back in 2019 by Sheriff T.J. McDermott and Captain Dave Conway, both of whom have since retired. They felt that there was a need for a cold case unit because we have some cases that really need some attention, but we're just kind of at a standstill. So we formed this unit, and it's made up of 4 volunteers, and these folks come from various backgrounds of law enforcement with an extensive history, mainly in the federal law enforcement area, but some also have local and state experience as well. But really, the day in the life of a cold case detective is sorting through. Yeah, volunteer.
Oh, man, that's really important.
Yeah,
they're volunteers.
Yes.
So these are folks who are employees of the Sheriff's Department, and they're doing this on top of their other duties?
No, they are not employees of the Sheriff's Office.
Wow.
They're volunteers, just like search and rescue members.
Okay.
They're volunteering their time, their dedication, their commitment to the citizens.
Former law enforcement?
Yes, former law enforcement who are retired.
And they're choosing to do this. Do they have to apply to you?
Yes.
Okay.
They got to apply, and we are always looking for new folks who have the experience, who are willing to help us out in cold cases.
What are some of the profiles of the folks who are on this committee in terms of their resumes, their past experience?
Majority of them all have homicide experience because, that's really what we're looking for. When we're talking cold cases, we need help with homicides. Lots of experience there. We're talking 20, 30, 40 years of law enforcement experience all throughout the U.S., and then some even have experience in other countries working for federal agencies. So they do an amazing job.
Wait, back to Josh's original question. What's a day in the life look like?
I got sidetracked for a second. Day in the life, there is a ton of paperwork they're going through.
That doesn't sound very exciting. No. We got to make this enticing because we need folks.
When they first get the case, there's boxes, and back then we didn't have like the records management systems that we have today. Everything is a lot more categorized. It's together, more in sync, so to speak. They're pretty much going through boxes of old case files. And so,
not digital files.
Not digital. It's all, typewriter, that kind of stuff.
How old are some of these cases?
We're looking at 1990s, early 2000s,
okay.
So 25 plus years.
Got it.
A lot of their work is just putting the case together. They always say another set of eyes, just having another set of eyes looking at these cases. So they're going through lots of paperwork, going through cases, the evidence. There's a lot of different things. And they're following up with people who were, involved in this case 20, 25 years ago, because what we have found is folks who didn't want to talk to us then, they like to talk to you now.
Wow.
What do you think?
What do you think psychologically? What's going on there?
maybe, they want to help the families. They feel bad. They should have said something then. They didn't, they didn't bring it up then.
Now they have an opportunity to.
This might have been gnawing at them for decades.
Right.
And now they just were waiting for somebody to pick up the phone.
Somebody calls, somebody comes and talks to them. And, it just kind of rolls downhill from there. There's a lot of legwork, lots of work that goes on behind the scenes. Again, it's just going through all the paperwork, trying to piece everything together, another set of eyes. They're talking to the law enforcement officers that were involved in those cases back then, talking to different witnesses. The big thing is the evidence. Is what was the evidence collected back then, because DNA technology has evolved so much. DNA started in 1986, I believe, in the UK. That's where that's where it all pretty much started. That's when law enforcement started using DNA, and they got a conviction of an individual that killed a couple teenagers in the UK from this professor that put everything together.
When was this?
And it's evolved.
And when was this first available in Montana?
I would say it's been available probably since like the late 80s, early 90s. The thing is, though, it has evolved, though, over the years. The technology is getting better, the equipment.
So in the podcast world, true crime is the most popular. And in that genre of true crime, there are plenty of cases where the folks who are working on solving the case have been able to tap into DNA that's part of these genealogy sites. So things genealogy. like 23andMe, and they find a cousin or find a general match of the person they're hoping to find. Do you guys make use of that kind of those sorts of popular genealogy genetic sites?
That has helped law enforcement in the past, yes. We don't really use it a whole lot. We use the Montana State Crime Lab for help, and then we also use the anthropology department at the university.
That's great.
They're a huge help, anthropology, those folks over there.
What does an anthropology department do that would be helpful?
They're dealing with skeletons.
I think a lot of people don't know that. When you hear anthropology, they think of like field research.
They're dealing with majority of their work, they deal with bones, and they can extract DNA from the bones.
Okay.
Your teeth are going to be number one for
so
DNA.
If you guys find bones, you might be able to figure out whose bones they were.
Absolutely.
Wait, okay. How does that work? Or you're talking about teeth. So you find some teeth. How do you know whose teeth they are?
Well,
or bones? How do you even have information in a database to be matched?
Yeah, that's a great question.
There are several different factors that come into play. If their DNA is already in the system, whether they've committed a crime, or those sorts of things. And we have DNA. We're using that as a reference sample. We can compare the DNA we have to the DNA that's already in the system. And a lot of times when you're convicted of a crime for like different felonies and whatnot, you are going to have your DNA, and that is going to be in the system. Now, there's going to be times where we collect DNA. We'll have the anthropology department do it, state crime lab, and there will not be a match, there will not be a hit or anything like that. That's because that person's on in the system. We don't have a record of it. So what we have to do is we have to do legwork and go out and find that DNA to match it. The best way to put it is it's kind of like a fingerprint.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
It's a unique identifier to one person.
So you have some old saliva that's 40 years old, or a old swab, and then a bit of bone or denting, and then somehow it
gets entered into a system, and then they're able to crumb. Yep.
Wow.
And those popular genealogy sites you don't look at because you could find somebody who was related to that person.
We have our cold case folks have used the websites in the past, and that has helped us. Yeah.
Can you talk about any recently solved cases and how they were solved, or what would be appropriate?
Yeah. Well, give us a story.
I'd like to talk about our cases that haven't been solved.
Okay, sure.
We need the readers. We need their help on that.
Okay.
Yep. Those are the ones, the Mr. Nelson case in Seeley Lake.
Mr. Nelson.
Yep. He was a teacher at the local high school. He was murdered, and I want to say it was in the 1990s.
96.
1996. Yeah, he was a well-known teacher. There is talk up there of a few different suspects.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, I don't have a whole lot other than the fact that he was a very liked, well-known person in the community, a school teacher, and he was killed in his home via gunfire. And so we're currently working that case. We're also working the Cheathams, and that was a husband and wife that were killed up by Lake Inez, and that was in the early 1990s.
Wow.
Those are the two cases we have up in Seeley Lake.
Also gun shots?
Yes.
Okay.
Were there ever leads in these cases?
Not many.
Wow.
I mean, that's kind of why they went cold.
Wow.
So, but I mean, again, when leads come in, we're working them, always having a new set of fresh eyes, looking at these cases. Hey, then maybe we missed something. What about this? What about that? What's important is the evidence that was collected back then, because a lot of times it's possible things could be missed. Something could be forgotten about, but we're looking at that evidence, and we can submit that evidence now to whereas
and get
back
different
then,
conclusions.
to whereas back then,
sure, they wouldn't
we
have been
weren't
able
getting,
to. Yeah,
right.
the technology's changed.
It's changed.
So, are there examples from cases you've solved where you used modern technology, DNA right now, to solve a case that couldn't have been solved 25, 30 years ago?
Yep. We've solved 7 cases, whether they were homicides or missing person, unidentified human remain cases. We've solved 7 since the inception of the cold case unit.
Yeah.
And every single one of them was involving DNA.
Can you tell a story that kind of comes from one of those? You don't have to say anybody's names or anything, just to describe to people how it works.
Using the evidence and the items that were collected, whether it was a knife or just anything like DNA is transferred several different ways. Saliva, touch, all that kind of stuff.
If you cough on something, is there DNA there?
Yeah. DNA. Yep. But using what we collected, and then we can submit that. And then if there's still questions, if we believe who we think it might be, we can get reference samples from their family, and it's all that genealogy.
Do you need a warrant for something like that to get reference samples?
Most cases, yes, but it depends too on the circumstances of the case, how you're going about getting it. Somebody could they'd want to give you DNA voluntarily. So no, you don't need a warrant.
Okay.
But each case is different set of circumstances. Our cold case unit, they invest so much time into these cases. I don't think half of them sleep at night because they're just so involved, and their goal is to identify this person and identify who is responsible and what happened to them, so they can give closure to the family. That's what our goal is too here at the sheriff's office.
Closure to the family is important, and I
mean,
think
it's
just
huge.
Generally speaking, justice is important. We
Holding,
want criminals held to account
and holding somebody accountable.
Yeah.
Now there have been cases where they have solved where the person responsible for that, they died several years prior to us finding out their identity.
But at least to have that closure is so important.
Right, and that means
the process,
and
how much you learn working the
right.
case. Yeah,
and it means so much to the family.
Yeah.
So we hear out there in the public that when there's an ongoing investigation, sometimes people are frustrated by the lack of detail they get, and it sounds like that lack of detail is intentional. Can you describe that?
We want to be as transparent as we can.
Yeah.
Here at the sheriff's office, if there is an immediate threat to public safety, we are not going to hold that information back. We're going to let the public know, hey, this is who you need to be looking for. This person's armed and dangerous. That's our number one priority is the safety. So we're not going to hold that information back. But there are times when we do not disclose certain information about a case, and that's because of we're afraid maybe the witness could be tampered with. There could be intimidation. The case itself the integrity of the case could be jeopardized, and that could cause a lot of issues for us going down the road, especially if we do end up taking somebody into custody, charging them, going through the court system, and then that could be battled and contested in court. That could create issues. So it's not that we don't want to, but there's a reason for everything. But again, like I said, I can't stress it enough. If there is a public safety threat, we are going to get that information out as soon as we can to the folks.
Thanks. That's good. Good to know.
But like I said, we're working on other cases too. Besides,
so do the folks who are on the cold case unit, do they intentionally want to remain anonymous and do they have personal safety concerns where their anonymity is important?
No, they don't. If you go onto our website, if you go onto the Missoula County website, hit the sheriff's link, and then there's a cold case link as well. Their names and phone numbers are on there. They are great people.
Okay.
They just kind of fly under the radar. They're not looking for any kind of kudos or anything like that. They just want to come in, do what they do and allow and show their expertise.
So let's say if one of them figures something out, like, we need to talk to this person. They don't, since they're volunteers, they no longer have arrest authority. How do they go from, we need to talk to this person, to you having some folks showing up with badges at that person's door and bringing them for a conversation?
So they are considered special deputies.
Okay.
So they do have certain powers, and they do carry a firearm. Depending on the threat level, the safety risk, they do handle some things on their own. I mean, they operate under the direction of the Missoula County Sheriff's Detective Division. So we will always have somebody with them if there is a specific threat or a known threat to them.
You said they're retired folks, so they might be 60 years old where they don't want to go to visit a house 20 miles down a gravel road all by themselves. You might want to bring somebody with them.
That is correct. I mean, they always operate in twos.
Okay.
They're highly proficient at what they do, and that includes shooting as well. I mean, they've been in this line of work for a long time, but they just keep us informed. There are some things that we have to help them with.
And you can offer them staff resources if they need that.
Yep. And like I said, I cannot say enough good things about them.
Great.
Because
and the work must be so satisfying. But say more about how many folks are we still in need of folks?
We have 4 right now. We have plenty of work. I mean, if somebody were to be interested in...
And they have the right background.
Having the right background.
Besides being retired law enforcement, but what's
enough?
the right background?
Yeah, I mean, the right background is somebody who has investigative experience and someone who's done it for a long time.
Okay.
Preferably from bigger cities because they get a lot of experience with how busy they are down there. We really prefer a homicide type experience, but any big persons crimes cases, we're always looking. And so if somebody is interested, I'll leave my phone number.
Great,
and everything else, and we can get that out.
Thanks.
And then if someone thinks that they might have an important tip or information on a cold case, how do they go about sharing?
Absolutely. They can go to our website, and there is a cold case link right off of our Sheriff's Office website. Our phone number is 406-258-4810, or somebody can call me directly if they have information regarding the case, and my number is 406-258-4610.
Yeah, so Captain Prather, if you wouldn't mind, as we're getting close to the end here, there's something else you believe people really should know about the detective unit, about cold cases, anything in this kind of genre of information, please let's hear it.
Unfortunately, the wheels of justice turn slowly from time to time for different reasons. But I mean, just know that there are a lot of folks behind the scenes that are really working hard and quickly. We care about your cases. It's just like I said, though, things take time, for whatever reason. But we're working on the cases, and our big goal is to bring justice and accountability to the folks that need it.
You mentioned this earlier, the collaboration between other agencies.
Yeah.
Can you say more about that? Which agencies are you talking about, or what levels? Or
So the Missoula County Sheriff's Office is one of the premier sheriff's offices in the state of Montana. We're that way because...
Well done, Missoula County Sheriff's Office.
No.
And I'm not just saying that. We're that way because we have great support coming from you guys down.
And you guys, you guys, the listeners, our citizens.
Yep. We've got great support. We've got great folks that work for us. Our technology that we have, the resources we have in our county, the equipment we have to work on cases and everything is some of the best. So we get a lot of folks from outside agencies, all the surrounding counties around Missoula especially, that are looking for our help. They know that we have the resources, the technology, the expertise to help them out. And most times we're able to help them out.
Our work is not just countywide. In a sense, it's a little bit regional.
Correct, yeah. Same with our search and rescue unit. We are well known for the good quality work that we do and the amount of people that we have and the resources we bring from search and rescue. We're continuously helping other counties.
Wow.
And across state lines? I mean...
Not necessarily state lines.
Oh, even for search and rescue? Oh.
No, we primarily... Majority of our work, if not all of it, is state in Montana.
Powell,
Missoula.
Mineral, Granite County.
Yep. Yes. Yep. We've done a lot of work in Ravalli County, lots of work in Granite County, lots of work in Mineral County.
Yeah. So Captain Prather, you described the cold case unit as made up of professionals who are retired now, people who have the right experience, but they're volunteers. I know we have a really active search and rescue unit. We are in the mountains in a center of outdoor recreational activity. Those folks on our search and rescue team are volunteers too, as well.
That's correct. Yes.
And they're really busy, right?
Yes.
Yeah. Can you describe some of the kind of work they do?
We're very busy. We have approximately 38 members on the unit. And like you just said,
38. Wow.
It's all volunteer. We put in a lot of time. We just got done with a mission up in the Rattlesnake of a local Missoula resident, female.
Read about that.
Ms. Heimer, who's gone missing. And just in the last 3 days, we logged over 225 miles of searching alone up in the Rattlesnake. So we're really busy there. Again, it's kind of like our detective division. We have a really good unit. We're well known for it. We've made a name for ourselves. And a lot of folks are always looking for us for help. And we don't have a problem if we have the availability and the resources.
It's all volunteers.
It's all volunteers.
How does that? How do 38 people get coordinated? How does that work?
We have a structure, just like the sheriff's office. We have a structure in place.
Chain of command.
So we've got a chain of command. We have a chief and assistant chief. Then it kind of branches down from there. There's different squads a unit is on. I mean, we're able to. I mean, we do all kinds of missions. Whether
you guys can do snow, fast water.
Yeah, we do lots of ground. Majority of our searches are on land, ground searches, but we do a lot of swift water stuff. We're in the Clark Fork River quite a bit. Down in Mineral County a lot. And then we deal with a lot of snow, a lot of avalanche type conditions and whatnot. So it's a great resource to have in our community.
And I think you were talking about this earlier about someone goes missing doesn't necessarily mean it's nefarious.
Yeah.
Can you, say more about that?
We get a lot of calls where somebody does go missing. And unfortunately, it's somebody who may just get sidetracked. They get lost. They lose their bearings, so to speak.
Yep.
Whether that's mental illness or terrain
or weather. Just being out after dark in bad weather.
And there's a lot of different factors that come into play. Like you just said, Juanita, the terrain or the weather. Mm-hmm. They could be having a medical condition. There's lots of different things that come into play. 9 times out of 10, these are all accidents. Unfortunate accidents that, they do happen. Missoula is a very popular place for recreators. As you guys know, lots of people come here for our mountains and for our rivers. And unfortunately, with that, accidents do happen. And sometimes folks get themselves in trouble.
With that staff of 38, are you all staffed up? If somebody hears this and says, man, I have great outdoor skills, I'd love to be part of that. Is there room? What should
Absolutely, we have room.
All right.
So we meet the second Monday of every month at 6 o'clock at the Missoula County Search and Rescue Building. It's down off of Ernest, right down by the mall. And if somebody's interested, they just got to show up to a meeting.
Okay.
They can, show their interest, and they've got to attend so many meetings, and then they become a probationary member, then they're a member. You get to receive a lot of great training. And you know what? I mean, you get to learn it. You learn a lot.
Oh, I'm sure.
They teach you a lot. And most importantly, these folks are giving back to their community.
Yeah.
And there's nothing better than finding someone and bringing them home.
Mm-hmm.
That's our motto at Search and Rescue. We're going to find you, and we're going to bring you home.
Yeah, it's pretty ideal.
So
great.
And, okay, I guess before we close, is there anything you want to say about, you mentioned the 2 cases up in Sealy, but...
Yeah, so right now, our cold case unit right now is working several different cases. We're working the 2 in Sealy Lake that I previously mentioned. We're working a double homicide that happened at the Riverside Housing Facility, the nursing home facility out on East Broadway.
What year was that?
That was in the early 90s. It was 2 female residents that lived there, and one was murdered. And then the second one was murdered a couple months later.
Wow. Okay, same facility.
Same facility, yep. We're also working a missing female case out of Ravalli County. We're helping reorganize all the paperwork for the Florence triple homicide.
Oh,
We're helping them. We've got a guy that's he's a data collecting machine, so he's just kind of helping them reorganize all those case files.
I've forgotten about that case. I didn't realize that was a cold case.
More sets of eyes.
Wow.
And I'm trying to think if there was one more or not.
What was the year of that, Florence?
2001.
I remember when that was all over the media and the drawings in the hand drawings in the newspaper, and it was pretty scary.
Yeah. Yes, it was.
Was there a costume involved? Remember, like a hat,
a
mask,
trench coat.
Long trench coat. Yeah, long trench coat. So then everybody walking down the street wearing a trench coat got stopped, within that time. But, I mean, they're all listed on there, yeah.
Okay.
I mean, the big thing, is just letting folks know that they can go onto our website and they can hit that link and they can learn. We have some information on there, but it's pretty vague. But they can learn about those cases and get a little bit more information.
I'll have to check them out.
Some have pictures on there, some don't. We're actually in the process of designing a new website for the department, so that'll be nice, yeah.
Well, this is our favorite question. Well, one of our favorite questions to end on. If you come across any great books, nuggets of wisdom, anything you'd want to share with us?
Podcasts, anything you've run across.
Poem.
I like to tell my folks, keep your head up, keep pushing forward, the line is in sight. I like to tell the folks that work for me, just keep your head up, keep pushing forward. You know what it is that you're after, that line is in sight.
Great. That's a good one to just hold on to.
Yeah.
Well, I'm like, but I don't know which line.
It's the goal line, the end
goal
line.
The end line.
There is an end in sight.
Thank you.
There is an end in sight.
Got it. Hey, man, thanks so much for coming to visit us and for all the great work you and your team do.
Thank you for having me.
Yeah,
it's great
so
to see
appreciate
everybody.
it. Thank you.
Yep, thank you.
Thanks for listening to The Agenda. If you enjoy these conversations, it would mean a lot if you'd rate and review the show on whichever podcast app you use.
And if you know a friend who would like to keep up with what's happening in local government, be sure to recommend this podcast to them.
The Agenda with the Missoula County Commissioners is made possible with support from Missoula Community Access Television, better known as MCAT, and our staff in the Missoula County Communications Division.
If you have a question or a topic you'd like us to discuss on a future episode, email it to communications@missoulacounty.us.
To find out other ways to stay up to date with what's happening in Missoula County, go to missoula.co/county updates.
Thanks for listening.